I'm Dave Denoon, and I want to welcome you here to our third annual conference on Chinese capital markets. We are delighted to present the range of topics that we're able to do so today. What I want to try to do now in just a few minutes is give you a sense for what the series is about and also what our center is about. And then Dean Peter Henry of the Stern Business School will make some remarks about Stern and about some of the links between Stern and other parts of NYU. So it'll give you a general background. Then we'll turn to our keynote speaker, Barry Naughton, when we're ready for that, I'll briefly introduce Barry. In terms of the center's series, we've had two prior conferences. The first was on essentially an overview of the Chinese financial system. We had panels on commercial banking, investment banking, brokerage, insurance. We also had a very extensive discussion that was led by Huang Yiping on liberalization of the capital markets inside China. He was relatively optimistic about that. One of the things that we'll be talking about today is how far China is going to move in that direction. If you're interested in his presentation and any of these prior presentations that I'm mentioning, you can go to our website. It's mentioned in the program. And just go to the prior program. Just click on a particular presentation, and the presentation will come up. So you can see what was presented then. At our second conference last year, we focused on Chinese overseas investment in different parts of the world. I think I see a couple of people here who were present at last year's conference. But I'll just mention that one of the things that struck me, which I didn't know before that conference, was that the continent that has received the largest amount of Chinese overseas investment is Europe. There's a great deal of discussion about Chinese investment in natural resources and hydrocarbons. But in fact, Europe has been very accommodating to Chinese investment. And because there are large investments that can be made, the dollar volume in Europe is extremely prominent. What we're going to try to do today in the conference is give you a sense for the reform movement in China. How fast is it going? Which are the areas that look like there'll be the biggest set of changes? And Professor Naughton will sort of sketch that out in his overview address. This is a conference by invitation, so all the people in the audience are knowledgeable about China. We therefore want to establish as much of a dialogue as we can. So we've asked the speakers to limit their presentations to 10 to 12 minutes. So all of you will have a chance to speak and ask questions if you'd like. Let me just say a couple things about other activities of the center so that you know what we're trying to do. In addition to this conference series, we have a series of books that we are launching, which will be looking at U.S. and China interacting in third regions. We have one book on Central Asia, one on Southeast Asia, and one on Latin America. The first two are quite far along. The one on Latin America is being planned. And so the eventual goal of that series is to look across these three regions and say how do the U.S. and China interact in those regions. We also host a dinner seminar where we bring together people from business, the legal community, the press, and nonprofits, along with academics, for discussion. We host some other conferences. We also commission papers, and we fund some scholarships for dissertation research. So the goal of the center is to try to encourage new research, exploration of new topics in U.S.-China relations.